tracing the footprints of those who came before me, over the endless extension of Atlantic waves, following paths tread by African slaves. I retrace the journey of slave ships. I see deserted villages, the remains of the slain, the murdered and raped. I hear the voices of slave masters, the wailing of those shackled, bound and gagged, chained and held captive. I feel the crack of the whip and the silence of death, the suspense of fear underneath my breath. I saw naked bodies of Nubian persuasion, the fear of the unknown, the seasick and starving, humming in unison, we shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome.
Norfolk Black History Month started in 2003. Whilst Norfolk's black community, in terms of numbers, is very small, it's very, very dynamic. And also, Norfolk black community have a very, very long history living within the county. So as a result, 2003, working in partnership with Norwich and Norfolk Racial Equality Council, the Norfolk Education Action Development, also known as NEED, and also statutory agencies like local authorities, the police, and others established the Norfolk Black History Month Steering Group. Through that group, we were able to actually celebrate Black History Month for the last 9 years. Black History Month is extremely important for black people because it's all about, knowing who you are and the contribution of your community to the wider society, because as black people, I think quite often our history has been hidden and also hasn't been celebrated or by mainstream establishments. So as a result, our own understanding of our history is very, very limited.
I saw their misery and anguish, the pained and the vanquished, human cargo and auctions, silver coins changing hands. To these forebears I propose a toast, to those who didn't make it across the Atlantic, to those thrown overboard for rebelling, to those uprooted from the land of the pharaohs, to those captured from the coast of Conakry and Banjul, Freetown and Lagos, and to those still in captivity in Darfur, further afield in Romania, Bulgaria and the Americas.
The 2012 theme of Black History Month was Black Champions, because we wanted to celebrate champions in all fields, and it's incredible the result of that, because we have events to celebrate local champions who are active in their communities. We have events to celebrate young people who are champions and inspiring other young people, and of course also famous people who are champions in their field of expertise. 2012 Black History Month in Norfolk been extremely incredible. We had a family festival at the Sainsbury Centre, the world famous Sainsbury Centre, where young people came to experience what Sainsbury has got to offer with different art and craft for them to explore. We organised the first Black History Month football tournament, which was incredible. We had 10 teams who competed for Black History Month trophy, which was very, very successful. We had famous acts who came and performed in Norfolk, including Eshetu Quench. We had exhibitions of art looking at Norfolk's own talent, black talent in Norfolk. We had over 100 events during Black History Month just within a month. So Black History Month Norfolk really lived up to our expectation. I think it was thought-provoking, it was entertaining, it was informative, and I think over 60,000 people attended in one form or another an event which actually makes Norfolk Black History Month really in the centre of Norfolk's cultural calendar.
This is not a poem apportioning blame, and neither a poem seeking apologies. This is not a poem demanding reparations, a self-gratifying or self-indulgent spew. This is not just another EJ poem, this is an emancipation poem.
I think it's really, really important to celebrate Black History Month in the future, because I think the more people understand about each other, I think the world will be a better place. All the issues we see, prejudice, stereotype, racism, hatred, I think they all come from ignorance and also misunderstanding and lack of information education. I think Black History Month really will help, I think, bridge that gap. It will bring people together. It will educate people about each other. Quite often people think Black History Month will bring in, I think, division, because by just celebrating black people's history. I think it's very, very important, because I think the mainstream history celebrates the history of the majority, but the history of the minority is quite often marginalized. And it's really important, I think, if we really want to build a cohesive community where communities could feel they belong, communities could feel that they have contributed, they have a stake, and also community could feel they're very confident to live and also prosper in that society. We need to bring about, I think, an understanding of who they are, where they come from, and also their contribution. And of course, what that will do is, of course, will create a much more happier, a much more productive, a much more cohesive community, which is better for everyone.
Humming in unison, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.